This cartridge unlocks the full potential of the original DS.
Yeah.
Just don't tell Nintendo's legal team. So after all the spotlight my big red 3DS has been getting in my videos about Pokemon Crystal, I figured it's about time we dialed things up to the next generation by ironically rewinding to older hardware, utilizing the native hardware compatibility with GBA games for my coverage of Gen 3. In my tutorial for Fire Red and Leaf Green, however, many of you noticed the peculiar cartridge I was using in DS mode to back up my save files from the GBA slot. Well, I present to you, my friends, from the slums of Shenzhen, the R4 flash card. A special cartridge with an SD card slot in the back, made as an enclosure for not-so-halal software. Now, of course, I demonstrated its capabilities as a GBA preservation tool, but in the Big 26, why don't you just mod your 3DS, I hear you ask? Now, I did go back and pick up a second 3DS to use as a homebrew lab rat later on, but Big Red, let me tell you, before I could legally get a job, I chored my ass off for Big Red. And on top of that, with how the market currently is in the present, you probably understand why I'm hesitant at the possibility of botching homebrewing and bricking Big Red. Now obviously, thanks to adult money granting me the opportunity to own both my R4 flash card and a second guinea pig DS, a flash card obviously has more stacked against it compared to a modded 3DS these days, with the biggest drawbacks to these flash cards being the fake time bombs that Chinese manufacturers include to fearmonger you into repeat buying new flash cards from them, and maybe more glaringly that they're confined to only operate in original DS mode even when put in a 3DS. Although on an original 3DS, cartridgeless GBA backwards compatibility definitely squeezes lemonade out of that lemon. Shout out to Jericom for his endeavors with GBA Runner. And you know what, on that note, shout out to GameYob for unlocking OG Game Boy support on all DS models, period. Now when it comes to those nostalgic commercially released games that Nintendo is really shooting themselves in the foot not re-releasing, no plugging in the comments, please. You know, rule of the house, right? We gotta keep these preservation sites alive in a vow of secrecy, whether Nintendo's shooting themselves in the foot or not.
Why?
But beyond the pool of nostalgic, commercially released games you all remember, the original DS is an utter garden of forbidden fruit. Fan-made Mario sequels, enhancements to games that initially over-relied on gimmicky controls, DLC expansions you can locally distribute into your Gen 4 Pokemon games, a whole nother goldmine in and of itself of Japan-exclusive games modded to have fan-made localizations, and yes, on the note of forbidden fruit, it even has Bad Apple. And that's just how